Hello, hello, everyone. How are you today? Welcome to the live stream. Today, I am joined by my amazing client, Ashley Cook. Ashley is a conversion copy consultant, not just a copy writer or whatever. She helps you write so that your copy converts for whatever it is that you're trying to do. Fill your program, sell your thing, be amazing online. Like your awesomeness come through in your words. So without further ado, I'm going to bring her onto the screen. Hey, Ashley, how are you? I
I'm good.
I just introduced you and but introduce yourself. I was telling the audience that you are a conversion copy consultant so that people can be awesome so that they can sell their thing, their launch or whatever, but you talk more about that.
Yeah, so that's I love that. I love it because it's getting what I do is I help clients to be able to take the magic of what they do and put it into words that sounds like them, that feels like them, but that also will sell for them. And because it's one thing to just write, it's another thing to write and convert and to actually get results with what it is that you're doing. So I love being able to do that.
Oh my goodness. Man, this could literally just be a live stream about why copy doesn't convert because I just want I just want to go there, but I'm not. I'm sure we'll touch on it in a little bit. So the title of this live stream is you left corporate and a month later you closed $10,000 in sales. That is amazing. And you shared with me that previously it had taken you a year to do that. And I know that it didn't take you a year to make $10,000, but it took you a year to make $10,000 in a month. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was a slow build. It was having to you're building your audience, you're creating an offer, you're testing the offer, you're getting nervous on like discovery calls and sales calls and um, stumbling your way through and building that momentum. And it took a
It
year to
took
be
a
able to hit.
while. And so now I'm sure some of the people watching would be like, well, wait a minute. She said she left corporate. What do you mean she had a thing before? So tell us how you were in corporate and then not in corporate and then back in corporate and then not in corporate again.
It's a journey, Linda. We're all on a journey. So I cut my teeth in the business world in corporate America. I spent I think it was like 13 years, the lucky 13, my first round in corporate. And I did, supply chain sales, sales analytics, but I landed in sales and marketing. And that was where I, developed and honed in the bread and butter of what it is that I do and what I do now. And when I left I went full time in my copywriting. Then I was a full time just done for you copywriter, and did that in April of 2020, and went full time. Built it from nothing, literally nothing, because the pandemic hit and all my clients' doors shut up, and I was starting back over from square one. So did that full time for about three and a half years, and then decided I had an opportunity to go back into corporate and put a little bit of a pause on my own business and take care of some other matters that were fun to take care of. And then,
Life, life.
life, took care of some life matters, and then decided that the entrepreneurial spirit within me still went on and I wanted to go back. But I knew when I left the first time to start my business full time, I had created a 6-month runway. And I knew that when at this time I didn't have 6 months in me to do that. And it needed to happen faster. And that was when you and I crossed paths at just the right time.
Yay. But we crossed paths about 2 months ago again. But how did you know of me? Because you were in my Facebook group. So how did you know of me? How did you and I connect?
So I was actually a copy coach for you in a mastermind community. I want to say like 2 years ago, I think we first interacted. And I remember the first time that you came onto one of my copy coaching calls and you were there, and then you put up your profile, and I was like, I guess she left. Okay. And then I just continued on the session, but I didn't meet you live until last summer when we went to a conference, the same conference. And I, again, remember the exact moment I met you live outside the hotel and got to see you in person. And I was scared.
No, I was like, what did you think of me? Because you had done copy for me. Like you had done a little bit of copy for me. And you used to always give me the best feedback on my copy. So why were you scared?
I don't know. I don't, and I'm freezing now like I froze back then, which is absurd because I love you and you're wonderful and there's nothing to be like nervous or whatever about. But I think you carried this confidence and you were actually on your way out of the hotel to go do some shopping. And we met and I went to give you like the polite, socially approved like side hug. And you're like, oh, and you called me out on the hug I was giving. And I was like, oh, I guess she just wants the real one. But even from the beginning in just a casual conversation, you, without even knowing it, were encouraging me to just be me and to show up as me and not the conditioning and the facades and all the stuff that that I had put on because it's the Southern socially appropriate thing. But when that gets challenged, and I felt like not challenged in like a scary way, but it was intimidating because to see someone who stands in her own self and does so confidently and outspoken, it was like, oh, I can do that too, but I'm not that today.
I'm sure I said something about a church hug. I'm like, are you giving me a church hug? Because
it was like, a church hug.
Don't give me no church hug, a little side hug. What's up with that? That is so cool. Because you know what? You'd never shared that with me. So I totally even forgot about that. So what's so interesting to me right now that has nothing to do with this, the interview, but I'm just going to say it because it's part right here of this conversation. Like how people, how people experience me in the world, right? I love to get that feedback because sometimes even if the feedback is negative, which this one wasn't, I have something to learn, right? Because we are our own, like I wrote in a post yesterday, you are your own limit. We have our own blind spots that we don't see or how other people experience us, So I thought it was interesting. Not the first time I've heard that someone's scared of me and I'm like, why? I'm so nice.
But obviously it didn't keep me away. So there we go.
Awesome. So then you were, so since then you had decided to go back to work and then you had then decided that you were trying to leave corporate again. And you were in my Facebook group and I actually made a post to like, come to my 5-day challenge. And you told me that you wanted to come on board.
The morning of, it was like 11:59 and it was like 1 minute before, I think. It was so close and I was able to scoot in and be there for it.
Yeah. And so what I want to tell everyone here is that this is sidebar, but I know everyone who's watching this as an entrepreneur, you're making money online somehow. I paid someone to put this funnel together and literally was just put together. It wasn't even like my branding, my colors or nothing. It's just a funnel. And when Ashley went to pay, it didn't even it wasn't synced up. She couldn't pay. And so I just sent her, she told me, I just sent her a Stripe, pay me. Even if she would have paid me tomorrow, I didn't care. I wanted her to be in there. So you come into the 5-day challenge. It's called the Charge More Now Challenge. And what really, 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 if you can remember, if you can't, you can't. What do you remember saying, man, I hope I get this? Or do you remember what you were hoping to get?
I do. I do because I knew I did not want this extended runway to exit out of corporate. I knew I wanted to transition back much quicker. I also knew that whenever my first go around of doing my business full time, I was on a path to burnout. And that was one of the reasons why I also needed to step back for a minute. And so I knew this time I wanted to learn from the things that I needed to learn from the first time and correct that for this next time. And I knew a big part of that was how I show up, my pricing. Like I didn't want to, get stuck in my head and all the things that I knew I was prone to getting tripped up on before. I didn't have time for that. I didn't want to do that and have that hold me back anymore. And I also knew that I wanted to shift into more of that premium or charging more space. And the challenge came up at just the right time to be able to do that. And really, I just wanted to, I wanted to go in. I kind of suspected just based on the name of what I was going to learn from it, but I knew that you would be doing the teaching every day and that there would be absolutely something that I could learn from, even though I had not been active in my business for about 6 months, hadn't talked about copywriting for 6 months on my platform.
Yes.
So my audience had chilled out.
Yeah. You didn't have any momentum.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't have momentum. So throughout the challenge, what ended up happening?
So it was great. I think it was the first day you blew my mind with the training. And I remember like I think I did a testimonial video for you after that first day. But there was the second day where we had the coaching and you helped me to create my offer, and not just create the offer, but to also have a 14-day like ramp up launch, like a launch period where I could sell that offer, basically going from no momentum to how do I start booking out. And I loved it because it's not like, oh, I'm just going to go to a challenge and I'm just going to learn and I'm going to take on more knowledge and it's going to get dusty like all the other courses and challenges and books and stuff I have. This was a very practical, like boots on the ground, like let's, you helped me with a very real issue, knowing that time I had a very short amount of time. You went above and beyond and like helped me to, I think we were messaging Facebook Messenger at that time. I don't think we were doing Voxer yet. And you were helping me even outside the challenge to be able to get this going and get it going fast. And that was just me being part of the challenge.
Wow.
I don't know if I was supposed to say that to let people know, like,
yeah, you were. Yeah. That's you. That's what really happened. Right. Yeah. And so, but were you concerned that, oh my God, maybe I shouldn't have told people that you were helping me in Messenger outside of the challenge? Is that the part that you thought you shouldn't have?
Oh, well, yeah. Cause I'm like, I didn't know if you wanted people to know that you went outside the challenge.
That I work outside the challenge and I help people get results, even if they haven't hired me. Yes. That's called client creation. Yeah. Right. That's like, I care about you. And you could have chosen to be like, thanks, Linda, bye. And, no hard feelings. And you could have been like, oh man, if this is how Linda's doing this and I haven't even paid her. Right. And so the end of the challenge came and then there was an offer made. And how do you feel about how even the offer was made, if you even remember, and how the conversation went? Because it really was not a sales call. It was just like a talk. We just were talking.
We were just talking. And I remember, like I knew I'd wanted to work with you because earlier in the year, I had to make a choice on who I was going to work with. And at that time I needed to do some healing work on some live stuff. And I messaged you saying like, I'm not gonna be able to work with you right now because I need to do this, I need to tend to this first. But I knew from earlier in the year, I wanted to work with you. And so when this happened, or when this challenge happened and then the offer, it was like, I already knew. And you had already helped me to close the 10K in a month. Like I had the confidence that, I can keep doing that. I can keep building that. And so the investment became less scary because I know that I will be growing and building along the way. And I have trust in you, trust in myself. And it just wasn't I wasn't anguishing over that.
Oh my God. Great. So thank you for sharing that. Here's what else I want to say, because we haven't even, gone here, but you were like, Linda, so-and-so reached out to me and they want to do this and this. Like, what do I sell them? What do I say? Da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, well, first of all, let's just put that aside. You knowing what you know about them and where their business is at, what offer do they qualify for? It's not what my client wants. It's I'm diagnosing their problem. I know where I can help them. So they don't qualify for this little 6-week boot camp. They need me one-on-one. Right. So I think it was so, for me, my observation was that, and it's not just you, every one of my clients, having confidence in knowing what to say, because you are an expert at what you do. And the thing that cost everyone sales is not that they're not great at what they do, is that they don't know how to sell. Right.
Yeah. Or they're told that they have to do it a certain way, because I've been in programs, like high ticket programs that I've invested in, where I'm told you have one offer and you sell that one offer over and over and over and over and over again. And it's like, well, what happens? I knew that I was doing done for you, but I also had this accelerator that I was building out, so I'm not going to just like say one, because I'm adept at both. I'm an expert at both. And they may not need one, but they may benefit from the other. But, you get your your logic, and it gets crowded out by so many voices in the marketplace telling you what you should and shouldn't do. And for me, I love the freedom in what you had told me, because I didn't have to force myself down a path. It was, okay, so I can actually do what is natural, which is listen to the person, what they're going through, what they need best, and then connect what they need the most with what I think will best serve them. And that may be the accelerator. That might be done for you. That might be something else that I offer. Like, I'm not going to try to force my solution onto them when their problem warrants a different path.
Absolutely. It's not because I want to sell you a $30,000 offer. You might just really benefit from this $12,000 one.
Yeah.
Or you don't need the 12,000. You need the 30,000. Sorry. Like, I'm not going to sell you the 12K because it's cheaper and better for you. It's not going to be best for you in the long run. Right. But knowing that we are the expert, and that's why our clients come to us. Right. Like, I went to the dermatologist the other day and she was like, well, I could do this or that. This one could raise your potassium. This one, oh, don't give me the one that can raise my potassium. Right. But here's the deal. Why does she even give me that option?
Yeah.
Like, who wants that? So I say, step into your seat of expertise and lead from that place and have a conversation. We don't ever talk to people that don't want our services. So you don't have to worry about overcoming objections or we don't do that. And it's been so amazing for me to watch you just be like, oh my God, thank you. I'm feeling more and more confident in selling, feeling more and more confident in staying in your lane, because you're not the only entrepreneur that has this happen to her with her clients. Our clients come to us, for clients are going to come to you for writing copy. And they're going to be like, well, can you write a Facebook ad? I mean, I can write copy that converts, but I don't do Facebook ads. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. I'm very clear on them, what my boundaries are and what I'm able to do and not do. And that's part of that conversation too, right? It's like, I'm not going to sell them on, Facebook ads are not my thing, but writing sales pages, writing emails, getting you storytelling, all these other different, persuasion tactics and persuasion elements to when it comes to words I can do. But there are nuances of copy that I like. Facebook ads, for example, there's some specific things from a copy standpoint that's not my expertise.
No. Great. So let's go right back into the $10,000. So was it 10 clients at $1,000? Was it 20 clients at $500? How did you close $10,000 in sales?
So it was a combination. I did a paid workshop. So I got sales from the paid workshop there. And then I sold my 7-week accelerator. And that was the rest of, I think it was a few $100s for the workshop. And then the rest was selling the accelerator to 6 clients.
I love that. I love that. And so immediately, so you leave corporate, you have this thing, and then you're like, Linda, oh my God, I can't believe I'm up to $10,000 in sales. I can't believe that. I didn't, because you were, even though it was not difficult for you to decide, yeah, I want to work with you for a year, you were like, Linda, if I could just get to $10,000. I mean, literally, those were your words.
I know, be careful. I should have said 20,000, and then I would have
and you were like, if I could just get, and I was just looking at you like, look at you.
It felt so out of reach. That's where it's so important to have someone who believes in you, who sees the greatness in you, and then also lets you know that that's possible. Because for me transitioning out of corporate back into full time, it creates unsteadiness. It creates there's fears, right? Of, okay, I'm transitioning from something stable to something that, I've got to rebuild, and it's not as consistent, historically, not as, as consistent as a weekly paycheck coming in. And there's a lot of fears, especially because I gave myself a 12-day runway. That I went from a 6-month runway the first time to a 12-day runway.
Yeah.
Itty bitty. So I needed to borrow your confidence until I could start seeing it for myself. And that's what I think is so important about having a coach that that sees your greatness and believes in you and lets you know that, yeah, 10K, that's easy. Because then that helped me to rewrite my mental tapes of, okay, 10K can be easy. 10K is easy. Instead of, okay, well, it was hard before, maybe it's hard again.
I want to stop right here because I think this is true for you also, and really anyone else who sells a service in the online space. Yes, I do see your greatness and I believe in you because you are great at what you do. So I believe in you. Not only that, I'd actually experienced your work before, because in that program that I was in and you were the copy coach, you had seen some of my copy. You'd helped me with some of my copy. So it's important, right? I always say this. It's not that I don't work with newbies because they're awful. It's that I can't throw my full confidence behind you if you are not great at what you do. The reason I can see your greatness is because you are an expert. But a lot of times we don't see that in ourselves. We're like, because we're not confident in selling, it translates into not having confidence in our business. But that's not true. You're just not confident at selling, but you're amazing at what you do. So of course I could see your greatness. And of course I could believe in you because I'd already experienced you and your work. So, like when people say, oh man, Linda believes in me. I'm not just out here, at the sales meeting from the multiple level marketing thing, like rah, 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 I believe in you. It's real belief. And I don't even know, like if someone told me, because people ask me all the time, how are you able to do that? Even my own clients, Jamila is one who's like, I don't know how you do it, Linda. But every time you talk to me, like my life changes. How do you do it? Right. And it's like, I don't know how I have this gift of transferring to you this confidence. Like, do it. Like stop overthinking it. Cut it out. That's my favorite one for you.
It sure is. It's going to be your ringtone for me on my phone now.
Wait, it was like, Lamo.
Lamo.
That was funny.
Oh my gosh. And then I see your post saying like overthinking. And I'm like, Linda needs to stop seeing me right now.
Stop.
Yeah.
But when you overthink, you have the power of Voxer. Let's talk about how powerful Voxer is versus Zoom calls.
Oh my gosh. I cannot even tell you how much I love Voxer. I mean, I love it in my own business, but I love experiencing it in working with you, because I don't have to save up all the things I want to talk about until we can get on a call. And because I can just pick up my phone and be like, Linda, I'm stuck in my head again. And boom, right there, you always respond so quickly and you help me get out of it. Because in business, like what your post was saying, overthinking costs you money. It costs you a lot. But in a business, it can stall. It stalls you. And if you're stalled, then it interferes with your momentum. It interferes with your income. It interferes with your impact, all that stuff. And so I don't have to wait for like my monthly or weekly one-on-one, whatever, to do it. I can just do that in the moment. And then you help shift me out of it, usually through some strongly worded messaging.
When I see your name on Voxer, when I see this thing like, bloop, bloop, and it's you, this is me in my head. Ready for Ashley.
That feels right.
But you know what? Here's what I love about you, because I tell you, I love working with you. You know who I am. You know my personality type. You don't, because I don't say anything to offend anyone. It's all coming from a good place. But you know that. And you're not like, oh, Linda, I need you to just be a little softer. No, you're like, oh my God, thank you.
Yeah. And you don't tell me something smells good if it smells bad, kind of thing. Like you're honest because you know business, you know sales, you know sales psychology, you know these internet streets, like you know all this. And so if I'm, coming to you with a question and it doesn't shake out, you'll ask me questions. You'll say, well, I don't know, you'll give your expert, coaching on it. And you're not just saying, sure, whatever goes. And then I just go blindly down a road straight into a landmine. and so that builds that trust and confidence even more that, okay, I can go to her with whatever I have going on in my business, and I can get a straight answer and know that, like, I don't want to be fluffed up. I need.
Yeah. And I'll say this, even thank you for saying that, because one of the things I cannot stand about the internet space is how everyone is out here selling someone else like anything that you can come up with is a great offer and we could sell it for 30K. Anything. No, it's not. If your offer is truly not irresistible, if your offer is leaving something off, like the one we spoke about yesterday, right? And I was like, this offer needs something else. It's not irresistible. I'm
It's
not saying
missing. Yeah, it's incomplete.
it's incomplete. So for me to have gotten on the call with you and been like, yeah, Ashley, yeah, let's do it. But I was like, who off the top of your head can you sell this offer to? How many people are in your audience that qualify for this? And you were like, literally, I only have two. Then you don't have a minimum viable offer.
But
that's
yes, I'm saying yes. I 100% agree with that, and I needed to hear that. And so, because I knew that there were some, like, there was still some things I needed to evolve, but you helped to bring that, like, laser clear clarity on this is an incomplete offer. And you didn't say the words, this is an incomplete offer. You asked questions that helped me to realize that conclusion on my own and say, okay, this is an incomplete offer. So I'm going to go and work on it, refine it, or maybe I just set it to the side and refocus on what I'm doing. I know what to do with it versus just saying, sure. And yeah, actually go for it. Just go into the horizon and sell. And then now I have all these, like, fragmented offers.
Exactly. Or, Linda, I've been trying to sell this one offer for 2 months. I haven't made any sales, when you have all these other services you can sell.
Yeah.
Like, it's just wild. So I love what I do. I have a lot of integrity, and I'll tell you or anybody else that offer sucks. That's not going to sell, or let's make it better. Because it's not that you don't have an offer that you could sell for that price point. It's that it needs to be complete, like you said. And I really enjoyed having that conversation with you, because you take the feedback and you keep it moving. And so that's super, super amazing. Is there anything else that you want to share right now that I haven't thought to ask, or that I want to say this, or I forgot to say that?
If you are even on the fence about working with Linda, jump off of it and say yes. So that would be what I would say, is that I am so grateful to have you in my corner, to know that I can go and Voxer you, that it's not just business, but I can be like, Linda, we send each other
gifts, all sorts of stuff.
All sorts of stuff. And you're a real person, and you're helping me in something that I very much need help with. And you're helping me, like, get these incredible results. And you are a human, and you're wonderful, that I know I can go to you. And like you said before, like, if you need a Puerto Rican recipe, you just Voxer me and I'll send you a Puerto Rican recipe, and you mean it,
I do, because I'm also tired of people in the internet space, because I've been in programs where I was like, hey, I need help putting together this workshop. And then the person was like, well, that's extra. You have to pay for a VIP day with me. I'm working with you for a year. What are you talking about? So I tell my clients, I don't care whether you work with me for 90 days or you work with me for a year, whatever is in my brain, you have access to my brain for that length of time that we are together. And so I jokingly say, I'm Puerto Rican. If you need a Puerto Rican recipe, let me know.
Exactly.
Because it's whatever is in my head, you have access to. I'm not like, well, sorry, you didn't pay for the Puerto Rican recipe part. I have to send you an invoice. Like, I totally respect, I honor. I don't even know what word other than honor. I honor the way that women work and make money, and that they trust me with it and give it to me. I know how that feels like. I pay coaches too. So I feel like very, very, like, responsible. I mean, short of me having to do the work for you, which I can't. But I'm like, I care about you winning. Yeah. So whatever.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, whatever's in my brain that can help you, I'm there for it.
Exactly. And I think that the clients that you work with are also wired that way. They have that very caring, responsible nature to them as well. And so that creates this amazing community of others that I now get to know. And that's, you being you has helped to create that.
Thanks, Ashley. And I'm just going to add this here because it fits right here. Um, I love to see the different women that are coming to me and are in my world because we are so different personalities. Yet, I believe that deep down inside, every one of my clients has a rebel inside of her. I'm very rebellious. I'm very like against the grain, push the status quo, overthrow the government, riot.
Take it to the streets.
you know. So, revolution. But I think that every single one of my clients is a revolutionary inside. She's rebellious. There's something that she can't stand. There's something that she speaks against. And she sees a part of herself in me. Because when people ask me, but Linda, how? I'm sure people are going to ask me after this interview, but Ashley Cook, I never thought Ashley would be your client. Why would
I've been told that from people. It's so interesting that you're working with Linda. I'm like,
oh my God, please. Yeah. I thought this conversation was over. Let's talk about that. Because see, I never even knew that. So people have been like, wow, I would have never, of all the people, I never thought you'd been working with Linda.
I'm not a ton, but I've heard like,
but they've said it.
It's so interesting that you're working with Linda.
What do they mean? What are they really saying?
I think it came from I think maybe because our wiring is so different. Like Supposedly, right? Like, but we do have some very distinct like personality differences. And I'm being like, like you say it how it is. And then I will initially say it how it is. And then I will say, like, I will soften it and, wordsmith it. Which I know because you have also called me on that as well. And I'm now actually more mindful of that so that I don't edit myself as I go. And so, yeah, I think some of it is maybe the personality and the style. It just appears to be so different. But yeah, I think, we have so much that is in common that, yeah, it makes sense to me. But yeah,
we have so much in common. I think, and we didn't share this here, but I'm going to share it. One of the biggest things that you and I connected on was religious wounding.
Girl.
Yeah. Growing up in these churches that were fire and brimstone and all this stuff, right? Like, seriously, we connected on that from our childhood. If maybe there was a picture of me and a picture of you when we were growing up in church, we would have looked the same.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so that part that's real. That's not fake. Because when you and I spoke, we were like, oh yeah, she totally gets me. And to this day, we share comedian, we share jokes about it and stuff like that. It's one of the biggest foundational things that you and I relate on.
Yes.
100%. And, yeah. And so the rebellious, right? There's a rebel in you. There's a part of you that's like overthrowing that. You don't want that in your life anymore. You will not be driven by that. You will not be controlled by that. You will not be told that a woman shouldn't speak. Like, there's all these things that are, I'm just calling them rebellious right now. Maybe that's not the right word, but for this conversation, right? So just because you're not wearing a leather jacket and, cut off jeans and rioting in the streets doesn't mean that you and I don't relate, and actually very deeply, on our rebellious spirit.
It's true. It's true. And it took me a while to see that within me too, because I never had considered myself a rebel. And because I'd always thought about like how being a rebel is externalized and not
like a way of being or a way of thought or something. Yeah.
Yeah. But I have, and I still wouldn't even say like I'm but I am, like, it's a flipping the table kind of thing, where you're overturning you're shining a spotlight on things that no one wants to talk about. And no one knows how to talk about, and it hurts and it's painful and there's power behind it and you butt up against that power. And I could pull out 1,000 soapboxes from my church closet on this, but that's where I start to get that's where my fire starts to come out.
Yeah. And so what I love, this is so cool that the conversation went here. Like, me growing up in church, I know so much scripture, and you and I were in Boxer, and I was like, Jesus was disruptive. and he was in your face and he was flipping tables and I know I was talking about Puerto Rican Jesus, not like the Bible Jesus, and he was
Not white
like,
Jesus. What?
no, and he was like, you MFers, what are you doing inside the church doing all this crap I didn't tell you about? I'm tired of y'all. I'm tired of this. And you were like, I could totally see Puerto Rican Jesus doing that, and so
I fell out of my chair laughing so hard at that message.
and I was like, but you can't unsee that now.
Yeah. And what was really cool about that conversation was that it connected so personally into the clients that I love to work with, because my clients are like that too. And it's like, oh, to me, that was just such a deep connection point that I remember exactly where we were when we had that. Yeah, I loved it.
Yep. So I'm going to say this to the people that are watching. If you're just judging people, right? How to say, don't judge a book by its cover. I've always said it. I'm going to say it till the day I die. The biggest thing, the number one accomplishment, the thing that I am most proud of is being the kind of mom that I am. I am a woman, a very feminine woman. I'm a nurturer. I love people. I love my children. Like, I am a ride or die mom. And that I bring that into my business. But if you're just noticing the red lipstick or the fact that I will quickly tell you what you're not going to do, or what my boundaries are, and you say, oh, she's mean, she's a bitch, whatever, and you just see that, then you are very basic. And I'm not saying that from demeaning, looking down on you. Like, look how I just said that. That's a very basic way of thinking. Because when you see beyond that, then that's how, if you saw beyond that, you would have never been able to ask Ashley Cook, how are you working with Linda? That is like, but I know that people think that way, and that's why I brought it up. But because I see it, people tell me all the time, how is so-and-so working with you? You guys are so different. I'm like, we're actually very much alike.
Yeah.
And so this is why, getting back to copy and describing your ideal client, this is why you have to know who the hell you are. Because when you can describe who you are without a picture, without a live stream, without any visual representation of you, you will call your people. And that's what you're so amazing at, helping people write in a way that calls out their person, regardless of what. I like to wear shorts and you like to wear skirts. I like to wear makeup and you don't. My hair is short and yours is long. But those real things that make me your ideal client and make you my ideal client, they have nothing to do with how we dress.
Yeah, 100%.
And I don't want to make this a branding thing here, but like, I don't even believe in it has anything to do with the magazines we read or the stores that we shop.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, I have content on that I actually wrote about last week about if you keep it at that level, you are
too basic.
It's great to know that your ideal client reads Eat, Pray, Love, but if you're not talking to them about how they're living like behind closed doors, how they're staying up late at night wondering how they're going to pay the bills, or how they're going to be able to get their toddler into daycare, or I'm making stuff up that's not copy related, but for my clients it would be they're sitting for hours on an afternoon, spending a whole afternoon trying to write an email and they can't get the words out, or they just paid an expensive funnel guy to go and write copy that doesn't even sound like them.
Come on, you did that with me.
It's wasted copy.
Exactly.
The copy is dollars, so it's wasted dollars, wasted copy, and it's infuriating because you don't have anything to show for that. Like that is common for my clients, or they feel like they have to wait until they're inspired in order to create powerful copy. You don't. And if you just keep it at this, oh, my clients are CEOs and executives and they like to go travel to Barbados on the weekends. Like, that's nice, but it should never stop at that level. It has to go into these deeper core desires, these core problems, how it's showing up, how they're feeling about it, and then connecting what you do and the magic of what you do into those levels.
I love that, Ashley, because I'll share this. For me, I work with high achieving women who are experts, blah, 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 right? That's basic. But every single one, without a doubt, every single one of my clients has overcome serious life circumstances that someone else in her shoes would be depressed, taking medication, and unable to get out of the bed. Like losing their only child in a car accident, having their son commit suicide, having a miscarriage. I mean, overcoming homelessness, sleeping in their car. Nobody would look at them and think that because they're so amazing today. But that is that, as a matter of fact, I'll tell everyone watching right now, if you have not overcome some serious life shit, you cannot be my client. Because this work is not easy. And if you overcame that, this is a walk in the park.
Yeah.
And I want to know, what have you finished in your life that you have started? See, that's real deep. I can't even believe we went here. This conversation was supposed to be over like, I don't know, 15 minutes ago. But that, and you were instrumental in helping me go deeper with who I serve. Who is the person for me? That's why it doesn't matter what she wears or if she doesn't curse and I do. But when I do it inside, she's like, yeah, Linda, go.
Yeah. You speak the profanity that we all want to speak. Yes.
You said that so nice. I speak the profanity that everyone else wishes they could.
This is why I do the words.
I love you. What are you promoting right now? Is there something that you're pushing right now that you're trying to fill? What's going on and how can people find you?
Yeah, so I am so excited right now about my Copy Accelerator. I just started up my second round of it. And I love the women who are in it because they are all seasoned business owners. They have proven offers. They have copy that's already moving and grooving, but they want to take it and crush it. They want to crush it with their copy. And they all have very unique copy goals. Some want to write sales pages, some want to get their emails up and going. And we get to lock arms for 7 weeks and go at it. We get to co-create it together. It's called an accelerator because we get to run through and create this high converting copy in a very short period of time. And it also has Voxer, which, you know, we've already like praised everything about Voxer, but I love that. And so, I'm currently taking in clients. If anyone wants to be part of that, we can have a conversation, see if it's a good fit for what they want. I have the Copy Accelerator and you can find me on the socials. I have Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or you can go to my website at ashleycook.co and that has all the links to my social.
Thank you, Ashley, for sharing that. I want to add this right here. It's not because Ashley is my client, but obviously she's my client. It's like when you brag about your kids. It's like, it's not because they're my kid, but yeah, they're my kid, right?
They're objectively amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, they're amazing. So Ashley has a client who she will be interviewing very soon, who spent some time with me in an annual container, in a mastermind for a year. And I know of her desire to, she wanted to hold a workshop. And she spent the whole year in that $30,000 container and did not create her own workshop. And so, honestly, if she had come to me to help her create the workshop, that's not my lane either. But she came to you in your Copy Accelerator and she launched her workshop. She had several tens of people sign up for it, and it was a great success. And so I just want to tell you, not because Ashley's so amazing, but because she's amazing, that if you're looking for writing in a way that converts, you need to run over to Ashley, send her a friend request if you're not connected with her, or tell me that you want to be connected with her. I'll connect you with her. And her accelerator is such a ridiculous no-brainer offer. I'm telling you, as her coach, get in where you fit in, because as of January of 2024, the price of that accelerator will cease to exist. It will self-destruct December 31st at 11:59 p.m. Okay. So I just wanted to say that because I know you have other women in that container, but this one, I personally know her. And I know how long she's been wanting to promote, and fill her workshop. And she was able to do that in a couple of weeks in your container. That's fantastic. So kudos to you. Thank you so much for being here with me today, Ashley. Everyone have a great day. If you want to reach out to her, send her a friend request on Facebook, or you want to reach out to me, send me a friend request, and be successful, be unstoppable.